Singaporean PM departs Cambodia after official visit. What really happened behind closed doors? Welcome back, global watchers and diplomatic deep divers, to Crown Chronicles, your ultimate destination for world leadership insights, political intrigue, and the untold stories hidden beneath official handshakes and smiling photo ops. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and join our growing community of curious minds who believe every headline has a deeper story waiting to be uncovered. Today's headline reads, Singaporean PM departs Cambodia after official visit. Sounds routine, right? Just another diplomatic trip. Smiles. Speeches. Departure. End of story, but not this time, because behind the polished press statements and carefully staged ceremonies, this visit carried far more weight than most realize, and what unfolded could shape the future of Southeast Asia. So, what really happened during Singapore's Prime Minister's visit to Cambodia? Why were analysts watching closely? And why were certain conversations kept behind closed doors, away from the cameras? Stay with me, because this is more than just a state visit. It's a geopolitical chess match wrapped in ceremonial silk. When the Prime Minister of Singapore touched down in Phnom Penh, Cambodia rolled out the red carpet, literally. Traditional dancers, military salutes, and a grand welcoming ceremony greeted the visiting leader with all the pomp expected of ASEAN diplomacy. Cameras flashed. Reporters gathered. Smiles were exchanged so wide they could rival the Angkor Wat sunrise. But as always in diplomacy, smiles are often masks, concealing the true nature of the conversations taking place. On the surface, the visit was framed around strengthening bilateral ties, trade cooperation, cultural exchange, environmental collaboration, and mutual support within ASEAN. But diplomats don't travel just for handshakes and hospitality, they travel to negotiate, influence, and align, and this visit came at a time of intense regional tension. With global powers like the US and China competing for influence across Southeast Asia, smaller nations like Cambodia and strategic hubs like Singapore are trying to navigate carefully, without becoming pawns in a superpower showdown, which brings us to the real question, what was Singapore's Prime Minister truly seeking? Observers believe the visit had three unspoken objectives, none of which appeared on the official press sheet. First, economic positioning. As global supply chains shift away from overdependence on major powers, Southeast Asian nations are looking to trade more with each other. Singapore, known for its financial prowess, may be eyeing Cambodia's rapidly growing manufacturing and agriculture sectors, not to dominate, but to integrate, creating interdependence that strengthens both sides. Second, security alignment. With rising maritime concerns in the South China Sea, ASEAN states are quietly building layers of informal security networks. No, Cambodia and Singapore won't be signing defense alliances anytime soon, but cooperative dialogue can be diplomatic code for strategic coordination. And third, perhaps most intriguing, diplomatic balancing. Cambodia has often been viewed as leaning closer to China, while Singapore maintains a famously neutral yet firm stance. The PM's visit may have been an attempt to remind Cambodia that ASEAN unity matters more than outside influence, but here's where things get fascinating. During a private meeting, one removed from official press coverage, sources suggest that the Cambodian leadership raised concerns about the perception that ASEAN is becoming politically divided. They expressed a desire to strengthen cohesion, especially with major global powers circling the region like hawks. The Singaporean PM, known for his calm yet firm diplomatic tone, reportedly responded with reassurance, emphasizing mutual respect and shared responsibility in safeguarding ASEAN independence. Was it casual talk? Or a subtle warning? We may never know, but seasoned observers could almost feel the political gravity beneath the ceremonial surface, and yet, amidst all the strategy, there were moments of warmth. During cultural tours, the PM praised Cambodia's rich heritage and youthful energy, even sharing light-hearted remarks about local cuisine, particularly a fondness for traditional Khmer desserts. Crowds watching from the streets waved eagerly, some holding Singapore flags alongside their own. Ordinary people weren't thinking about geopolitics, they were witnessing friendship, but diplomacy is never just about friendship. As the visit drew to a close, the farewell ceremony was as grand as the arrival. Red carpets. Honor guards. Final speeches filled with promises of cooperation and prosperity. Cameras captured every gesture, the firm handshake, the respectful nod, the graceful wave before boarding the aircraft, and yet, those watching closely noticed something subtle, a brief pause, a longer than usual handshake, a knowing look exchanged between the Cambodian Prime Minister and his Singaporean counterpart. It was the kind of moment diplomats train their entire lives to master, silent communication. A message saying, this was more than a visit. This was an understanding. As the aircraft lifted into the Cambodian sky, the official statement read, "The Singaporean Prime Minister departs Cambodia after a fruitful and successful visit." But that's not the real ending. The real ending is yet to unfold, because every diplomatic trip like this plants seeds, some that bloom quickly in public, and others that quietly take root in policy rooms, military strategies, trade agreements, and long-term alliances. What began as a formal state visit may one day be remembered as a turning point in ASEAN unity, a strategic recalibration in the great game of Eastern geopolitics. So the question now is, what happens next? Will Cambodia and Singapore emerge as closer partners, standing firm against external pressures, or will this be just another ceremonial memory, pleasant, polite, but ultimately inconsequential? That's where you come in. Do you believe this visit was symbolic, or strategic? Was it about diplomacy, or defense, simply a courtesy call, or the beginning of a regional shift? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read every perspective, especially on stories like this. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden layers of diplomacy, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Crown Chronicles, because here, we don't just read headlines, we decode them. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay watching. Globe showing Asia Australia sparkles.